43.
Issue 43, and we're back. 43.2, actually.
43.2, everybody. Excelsior! Right, we're back. 2 geeks in the pod. Attempt number 2. If you joined us yesterday, we're so sorry about what happened, the connection. We're not sure whose side it was on, but we've both made some alterations to make sure that we've got a better show for you. I have 4 bars of my internet.
I've got Ethernet plugged in.
So fingers crossed, God bless, we should have a good show for you guys.
Let us know in the chat, if you're in the chat as well. Let us know if you see anything or hear anything going a bit weird. Obviously, us talking, going on tangents is weird, and that's standard anyway.
Yeah, obviously. But we today are going to do a slight, what's the word I'm looking for?
Change.
Basically, we're going to talk about Stan Lee, because as you may know, I hope you know, if you're on here, you should know anyway.
Exactly.
He passed away a few days ago. He was 95 years old. And Richard and myself, we were like huge fans of Stan Lee. So we're going to talk about him for a bit.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, and then we're going to go through what the usual stuff we do, the news, the reviews. Maybe not reviews today, but we'll go through the pull list.
Yeah.
Obviously, Comic Book Wednesday was yesterday. Today's Thursday. So yeah, hopefully you guys got your load of comics, but we're just giving you.
I haven't read anything in time. It's been I can't remember the last comic book I read. But it's because they're not sending them to me, man. But I should have a fat stack coming soon. I saw my email, so fingers crossed. And then I'll put them on my page and we'll talk about them next week. All right, so what's first?
All right, so Stan Lee, man, as we all know, he passed. 95 years old. 1922, man. Nearly got to that century, man.
Yeah,
you know?
I'm quite honored that I was born in the same is it century?
Yeah,
the same century as Stan Lee. I was both born in the 1900s.
Yeah, long life, man. Long life. So it did come as a shock, but it was kind of expected as well. Obviously, he was going through some health problems. He had pneumonia, like you said yesterday.
Yeah, he had his pneumonia. I remember a few years before that, he had his heart. Remember, he had to get his heart, his pacemaker changed. Or as he called it, at the time he called it, I think I had the text or the message, I saved it. It was, he said something like he went to Stark to get his own, what'd you call it?
His device.
Yeah, basically, yeah. He said he went to Stark to get one of those put in. He was such a character. He has so much character to him. You couldn't help but love him.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people, well, some people would say that he says that he created loads of stuff that he didn't create. I think he's just got that character in him, because you got to bear in mind, back in them days, you didn't even have like comic book writers or artists. You didn't have their names on the comics. So you might be reading the comic, maybe you might know some, but kids, they don't know who's on there.
No.
And he kind of normalized that, in the sense that he'll put the creators' names on the covers or inside the books, and you would know that it's presented by, everybody knows it was presented by Stan Lee at the time.
Yeah, of course.
And he was the voice of Marvel and always will be the voice of
Marvel. In fairness to him, I mean, I have been seeing some negative stuff about him. People saying, "Oh, he took credit." He never said that he flat out invented these characters. People, like, do your research, and he gave credit where credit was due. It's just that, let's use Stan Lee and Jack Kirby as an example, or even Steve Ditko.
Steve Ditko, like when Steve Ditko passed away this year as well, like,
yeah, it's crazy.
That is crazy, man. One of the two greatest legends,
in comics,
died in the same year. Imagine that. But he was more a secluse. Is it secluse or recluse?
Yeah, exactly.
So he wasn't really. Maybe, I don't know if people say it was because of what happened or whatnot, but he wasn't on the face of the comics. You know,
No.
he wasn't out there selling it and no one. I don't come on. If you were selling anything, I would have Stan Lee by my side selling anything.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean that's the other thing.
That ability.
That's the other thing I was gonna say. Wait, you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that he had such personality. Like you said, he would be the one out there selling the superheroes, selling the comic books.
Yeah.
He was the one out of all these creators, whether they be writer or artist, that was putting not only himself out there, but the characters out there.
Yeah.
I know who a lot of these characters are because of Stan Lee, not because of Steve Ditko or Jack Kirby. Sad, you know. So, but that's not an insult to Jack Kirby or Steve Ditko. I'm just saying that's how it was.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean, so yeah, if you guys didn't know, he's obviously his name isn't Stan Lee. Well, I say obviously, but maybe a lot of people won't know. But yeah, it was Stanley Martin Lieber, actually. That was his name. And he changed his name. He actually changed his name to Stan Lee because during the times when he was creating his comics, there was a bit of a stigma towards comic books.
Yeah.
Being a child's thing or
I feel like that didn't even go away. Like even when I was in college.
It's still around, man.
It's still around. People are just ignorant.
He would be around people with doctors and nurses, and he'll go to events and people will say, "Oh, what'd you do?" He's like, I write children's books, you know. So he used that pseudonym, and then later on he actually changed his name to Stan Lee. You know, when he was working with Timely Comics when he was 19 years old, as a runner, helping out, stuff like that. And he was with them for quite some time. Then obviously the war came. He went off, and whether he fought in the war, I don't think he did, but he was doing jobs like writing manuals and writing training. He was in the training film division. He would be writing manuals and training stuff and doing slogans, cartooning there as well. And then in the mid 50s, Timely Comics moved to. It didn't move it. They changed to Atlas Comics.
Atlas Comics. Yeah.
Yeah. During that time, he was writing. Obviously, this was after the war, so you had Captain America around. Bearing in mind that Stan Lee didn't come up with Captain America, but you know, you had Captain America around during the war, and after the war, there was, you know, people didn't want to read about bad guys and you know,
good guys punching bad guys.
Yeah, good guys punching bad guys. So when he changed to Atlas Comic, he was writing stories like romance and Western, science fictions, and horror stories. Like horror back in those times was pretty big. But yet you still, in the later 50s, you had Justice League. Obviously, Superman was around since 1926, I think. Superman, yeah. He's been around from time. I'm sure it was 1920.
I swear it was like 1939. Then Batman was 40, 41, wasn't it?
Yeah. 38,
yeah. Yeah, then Batman was like 39, 40 or 40, 41. Yeah.
Right.
No, my DC, yo.
So yeah, in the late 50s, you still had superheroes, as in Superman, Flash, Justice League. So, and at the time, he actually wanted to quit as well, but it wasn't until his wife Joan said, "You know what? Why don't you just do something that you want to do rather than, you know, just write a story, create characters that you want." And came forth was the Fantastic Four.
Yeah. I think with that, he was asked to do something along the lines of Justice League.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to do, that's where he didn't want to do a Justice League. And that's where his wife was like, "We'll do something you want to do." So he basically took the idea of a superhero team.
Yeah.
And turned it into like a family, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And actually not just made the family, but gave them the family elements. You know, you got Johnny Storm and Ben Grimm, who are like brothers, but they bicker.
Yeah,
bicker like brothers, and then you've got the bigger brother who's like, guys, you guys got to calm down, or the sister mother who's, you know what I mean? Who's the voice of reason. It was great. Fantastic Four was genius idea, and
yeah, it was, and that's the thing for me. That's when I was growing up. That's one thing that I kind of liked about the Marvel characters is that you know you got Spider-Man, you got the Fantastic Four, you've got Hulk, Doctor Strange. All of these guys, they're kind of like realistic in a sense, and they're in real worlds like New York City. You know, well, most of them are from New York.
Most of them from New York. But when they're from outside New York, I almost don't want to know.
Yeah. But it's hard to read West Coast Avengers, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
tiny buildings.
Yeah. But yeah, he created characters, co-created characters who had a human element to them. So you had Peter Parker, who's a teenager, which is one of the reasons why it blew up as well. So most of the heroes
they're all grown-ups.
They're all grown-ups. If you had a teenager, it would be a sidekick. You know, so you know Peter Parker was his own hero, but he had problems. He had his Aunt May, his Uncle Ben died.
Yeah,
he was going to school. He had bullies. You know, things that relate to.
Yeah, study for tests, asking, or not even asking out girls, but liking the girl, and maybe not even having the courage to approach her.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
You know?
Peter Parker was a real one.
Yeah, and the thing with them as well, when characters back in them days, again, when characters died, they stayed dead. So you know, later on, we all know what happened with Gwen Stacy, and you know, spoilers.
Yeah.
But yeah,
if you don't know what happened with Gwen Stacy, what are you doing here, man?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's too funny.
So yeah, he working with Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko. He also created She-Hulk as well.
Oh, did he? I didn't know that one. Okay, snap.
So yeah, that was pretty much when people were starting to copyright their stuff, and so they kind of had to do like She-Hulk, Spider-Woman. It's all pretty much for legal reasons. But yeah, he bought Neymar, San Marino back, and obviously after the war, Captain America wasn't around, so he brought Captain America back and co-created the Avengers team.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, that was Stan Lee and Jack Kirby doing that. Obviously, Daredevil he done with Bill Everett, and obviously the X-Men as well. Iron Man, Thor, Hulk. So
you have to say as well, someone else kind of said this that I'm kind of biting, but like the human elements to these characters, like Daredevil was blind.
Yeah.
X-Men, we had the whole kind of resemblance to the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
And he said in an interview that I was watching, Stan Lee, that he wanted his characters, he said something like he wanted people to understand that just because people are different, that doesn't make them bad. That is the X-Men in a nutshell. That's us in a nutshell.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then with like, I completely forgot about this one. I think not my first introduction to Thor, but I remember in the Hulk cartoon where Thor was in it. And Donald Blake was in it, so he was this crippled. Thor was crippled when he wasn't Thor. Nowadays he's always Thor. You don't see Donald Blake anymore. He's always Thor. Back in the day, he was like on his crutch. He was a doctor. He was on his cane and he could barely walk. But when he stamps that cane down, boom, he's Thor. Even like this God of thunder, you know. But he still had a weakness, you know, like people who had like maybe bum legs like he did probably thought, I could be Thor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Or how we might be like, I could be an X-Man. Do you know what I mean? No, Stanley was a genius at what he did.
That's it, man. He brought in who was it again? It was it Rhodey or
War Machine.
No, sorry, Robbie Robertson from Spider-Man, the first black character to have a leading role in a comic book. He brought in Black Panther in the pages of Fantastic Four, the first black superhero. You know,
I love that he called him Black Panther as well. Well, he came before the Black Panther movement, right?
He came before the Black Panther movement, and they actually had to change his name when the Black Panthers came about as well.
Oh yeah, they did. I forgot what they changed it to.
They changed his name. Let me see if I can quickly find that. But yeah, because the Black Panther was about and getting bad press.
Yeah, so he couldn't have the comic, his story associated. I suppose it probably wasn't him. It was probably his bosses who were like, "You got to change his name."
Yeah.
But fair enough.
I think it was Black Leopard.
Yeah. All right.
I think that was it. That
yeah.
It was. But yeah, I mean, even in like I said before, he changed the way that people knew about creators, and even at the back of the comics, he would have the Stan soapbox.
Yeah.
You know, well, he'll write about upcoming comic projects, or he would even address discrimination, you know, and racism and intolerance and prejudice, and you know, he would actually put that in at the back of the books. He would do letters pages so you could write to the editors. You know, you can write to Stan. You know,
dear Stan.
Yeah, you know, so this guy was a legend, man. As we all know, he was a massive legend. It's gonna be missed greatly, man. It's
a shame that there was so much, well, not so much, but in his later years, there was a bit of controversy regarding his funds and some allegations. I'm not going to go into them because, as far as I'm concerned, worldwide, he co-created a phenomenon, and Marvel Comics, it's definitely a movement, and Marvel Comics wouldn't be the same if it wouldn't. Yeah, not even Marvel Comics, even comics, and a lot of you probably don't even know this. I've been meaning to do a post about this on my Instagram, but he did stories for DC as well. There was a point where DC, you know, was like, "Hey, could you help us, you know, do a little something?" And the only one I can remember that he did was Batman. He actually made him a Batman.
Yeah,
Batman.
I remember that. Yeah.
But you know, he did more than just DC and Marvel. Sorry, and even that whole like in DC we got Greg Capullo and Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder and Greg Capullo. No, sorry.
Snyder.
Yeah. That's based off of the whole, you know, run of Stan Lee working with Steve Ditko or Jack Kirby for like long.
Yeah.
You know, what is it they called it? I think you said it yesterday. Actually, it was it was the Marvel, or maybe you didn't say it. It's called something like the Marvel way of writing comics or something like that. But
say that again.
You know when you got an artist and the writer.
Yeah. There
was a name for that when the two collaborate for so long, because not all comics did that. I think other comics would just get whoever to pen it and get whoever to write it. Sure. Anyway, but yeah, he set the pace for that. He was the one that had long running series with an artist.
Yeah.
And then other comic book companies started, you know, doing the same.
Yeah.
And which was great. Yeah, Stan Lee, man, he'll be missed.
So who's your do you remember the first time you heard about Stan Lee or read about him?
So you reminded me of this one, which was when we used to watch the 1970s Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And he would narrate it. Yeah. He would narrate it, and then there was Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends, which, by the way, Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends was awesome.
Yes.
They kind of tried to, they even tried to, because they had Iceman. That's where I learned to like Iceman and Bobby Drake. And then they had Firestar. Firestar was supposed to be Johnny Storm, but they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And one thing I said yesterday is that they tried to do that in the comics, because in Ultimate Comics, because Bobby Drake and Johnny Storm moved in with Peter Parker and Aunt May, which I thought was funny. And then they did that in the Ultimate cartoon, and they referenced themselves as Spider-Man and the Ultimate Friends.
Nice.
So there was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and then there was the old Spider-Man cartoon. But it was Marvel Action Hour where I really took note of who Stan Lee was, where he would introduce Iron Man, and he would introduce and he would
Fantastic Four, right?
Yeah, Iron Man, Fantastic Four, and the Incredible Hulk. And he would always be saying like, "Hey there, true believers, it's Stan Lee. Today I'm hiding out in the fortress of Doctor Doom." And that's when I knew who Stan Lee was. And I thought he was so eccentric, but I loved his intros. Like I would always be like,
wait for that, though. You wait for that.
I loved his intros. Yeah. And he'd always have the background. So I always knew about the voice, but to me, visually, that is when I knew who Stan Lee was.
Yeah, that's same with me. Same with me. It was Spider-Man, the old school Spider-Man cartoon.
Yeah.
You know, and then later on, having the comics, it started presented by Stan Lee, and but he was all over the cartoons, man.
He was.
Those cartoons back then, those were my jam, man.
Yeah, definitely. I even got to give definitely I said, and I got to give props to like modern day cartoons, because I think even like in Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon,
he
was in there, and I think he was the janitor.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
but it turned out that he worked for shit. He worked for shit. And I thought that was. He made a comment saying that he was like the original member of Shield.
Right.
You know what I mean? Suggesting like he was the original from. That was a dope. That cartoon. I didn't like it that much, but it definitely had its moments.
Yeah. I didn't really like it that much. It was
neither did I.
That should have been like a Deadpool cartoon, really.
Yeah.
The amount of jokes in there.
Deadpool was in an episode, and
it wasn't really that good, was it?
No.
But yeah, like I said, like my one is Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Cartoons. Yeah. What about your favorite character then?
Definitely Spider-Man. Like I said, I think he's just the most ultimate relatable.
What's your favorite two then?
Favorite two?
Because I think everybody's pretty much is.
All right, if I was to pick
maybe 2 or 3.
All right, maybe I don't want to say X-Men. You know, I love the X-Men. But we discussed this, and our X-Men wasn't the X-Men that Stan Lee created, so I can't. So I will probably have to say Daredevil. I really like Daredevil. I think my first introduction to Daredevil, I didn't see the 1989 movie. I think that was Trial of the Hulk. I never saw that. So my introduction,
the 89 movie.
The 1989 Incredible Hulk movie. I think it was like
Trial of the Hulk.
Trial of the Incredible Hulk.
You didn't watch that?
I haven't seen it to this
day. At your house.
Did you? Maybe I don't remember it then.
Maybe I watched it with Sean. But I'm sure we watched it. It might be your house or my grandmother's.
I probably don't remember watching it, but I remember one episode. You know, the '94 cartoon, and I remember. So I think at this point, we already had Sky, so you weren't bringing the tapes around anymore. So I was watching Spider-Man, and I remember just seeing this guy in a red suit, and he was climbing the walls. And I remember Antoine came home. I don't know where he was. I said, "Oh, Antoine, I saw this episode of Spider-Man, and there was this guy who was just like him. He was climbing, and that was Daredevil."
Yeah, I was seeing. Yeah.
That was my introduction to Daredevil, and I just liked him ever since. Like, Daredevil was the only reason that I got Netflix.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason. Most people got. That's the reason I got it.
The reason I got Netflix was because of Daredevil. It's been worth it. If I was to say after Spider-Man, it would definitely be Daredevil. I can't think of anyone else right now. Maybe just someone from the Fantastic Four. Always loved Johnny Storm.
Well, mine, I'd say obviously Spider-Man is the main man. Yesterday, like I said, X-Men. Yeah, I love X-Men. If he didn't create X-Men, then co-create. Sorry, if he didn't co-create X-Men, then
be careful.
Yeah, don't want to get burned, man.
No.
I wouldn't like the new X-Men, the Astonishing X-Men.
Yeah, it's true.
X-Men. So that's kind of like what do you call it? That's kind of like I love X-Men, but Spider-Man and Doctor Doom, I think.
Yeah, Doc Doom.
Yeah, I did say yesterday. I said Doctor Strange, which was a mistake. I was saying to you before we went on. Because with Doctor Strange, he wasn't really created by Stan Lee. He pretty much gave the permission to Steve Ditko to write it. So Steve Ditko had the idea of Doctor Strange, and he said, "I think, we should do this character next." And yeah, Stan Lee wrote it. And
okay, cool.
Apparently, he was going to call Stan Lee wanted to call him Mr. Strange.
No, give him that PhD, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Strange. I can see where he was going with that.
Yeah,
Mr. Strange, Master of Mysticism. No, Doctor Strange. That's
and they had the Doctor Strange previously as well. Which was nothing like this Doctor Strange.
Oh no, I saw that somewhere. It was nothing like our Doctor Strange. I have seen that somewhere. I saw that somewhere recently, actually.
Yeah. What, the film?
No. Like there was an old comic book from like way back where it was called Doctor Strange. But he did his powers were something completely different.
It's because you did that laugh, innit? I thought you like talking about that film that deserves the same laugh. There's a bit of a rip-off film of Doctor Strange, and it was.
Oh, you're joking! Oh no, I don't. I might have to go Google that in a bit, but nah. All right.
So, what about cameos?
Right, I've been thinking about this one, and it's not from
You just said it to us, actually.
Did I?
No. Yeah, the one. Yeah. It's not it's actually pretty sick, man.
It's not from a Marvel property.
And you know what? Sorry to keep interrupting you, but as no one's actually mentioned that. You know, loads of people putting on videos and cameos and things like that. No one actually put that up.
Well, this is
actually sick.
This is an exclusive, yeah. You heard it here on the Source Wall. My favorite Stan Lee cameo is definitely got to be when he was in The Simpsons, because that was jokes. That was so jokes. He basically said that Bart's comic was rubbish, but keep at it because you're just finding your feet. And then there's other kids, so Bart's like, yes, he feels invigorated because Stan Lee gave him props.
Yeah, and that comic book guy is in there. That
guy and he dissed him. He said, if he says to Bart, if you fail, you could always open up a comic book store. But it was jokes where
Stan
the kid
Lee just cussed me.
Yeah,
so in the bizarre universe, I am
that means he likes me. Yeah, and I thought it was jokes where this one kid comes and he's like, he picks up a Batman. Toy. And Stanley's like, wouldn't you rather have a more exciting figure like the Thing? And he's like, oh, I need it to fit in my Batmobile. And he's like, look, it's fitting in your. And he takes the Thing and he's crushing that kid's Batmobile. He's like, there, good as new. And Bart's like, Stan Lee came back. Comic book guy's like, he never left. And then and the next scene where it's like Homer Simpson basically hulks out because of Bart's comic, and he's got green on him, and he's going for a rampage through town. Yeah. And everybody's like, "Oh my god, it's the Incredible Hulk!" And Stanley comes out of the comic book guy's shop. He's like, "He's not the Hulk. I am the Hulk," and he's all trying to Hulk out. He tears his shirt.
You know what that reminds me of? It reminds me of that kid. You ever seen that video of that kid?
Oh, Jalen.
Is that his name?
Yeah, the Super Saiyan. Yeah. Nah. But that is my favorite Stan Lee cameo. It's just it was perfect. It was so funny. And he really obviously his voice. I'm a huge fan of voice acting. He really did his thing on the Simpsons, and like, just that scene where he's just ramming the Thing in the Batman. What about yours? What's yours?
Mine's Guardians of the Galaxy 2, because for me. I love all these Marvel films, the MCU and all that, all connecting and all that. You know me, I watch everything.
Yeah, you do.
So for me, the reason why I like that one so much is because he's with he's in it, obviously. Two, he's with the Watchers as well. And if you know the Watchers, they're watching over the Marvel universe pretty much, and they can't interrupt. If they do interrupt or interact, then it's something deep is happening.
Yeah.
So him just sitting there talking to the Watchers, and discussing to them what he was doing in other films, it's kind of got that thing where, yeah, man. So Stan Lee's not just Stan Lee, you know, he is Stan Lee, but he could be one of the Watchers.
He's watching, yeah, he's watching over,
and he's always there. Yeah, so for me, that had a good meaning to.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that that's there now as well. Like, he's passed on. That movie wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
So it was not, because remember, I think before that movie came out, I'm sure the fans gave what's his name again? Who directed Guardians?
Oh, why am I forgetting his name?
Why am I forgetting his name?
Shit, why am I forgetting his name?
The guy who got fired from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
I'm sure. I don't know. It's such a bait name as well. Anyway, not Rob Schneider. Oh my God, not Rob Schneider. It's anyways, look, I'm sure the fans gave him the idea because we were already saying James Gunn. Thank you.
I did have to Google that.
Yeah. James Gunn. I'm sure we fans gave him the idea for the Watcher thing because I think we were saying it. He was in all these different Marvel, and it's not even like he was in the main like MCU. He was in the Sony universe. He was in the Fox universe. He was in the Universal universe. Yeah. So, and then he goes to the Watchers and he's telling them stuff. That was genius. I'm glad that got done. That was a really good cameo.
Yeah. And also honorable mention. That's what I was supposed to say earlier when I was talking about X-Men. Honorable mention. But yeah, honorable mention is Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 1, where Spider-Man and the Lizard is fighting in the library, and he's on, just doing that. You see them fighting in the background, and then the table gets thrown.
Yeah,
Spider-Man flips it. And then,
that looks so good.
Yeah, the way he just flips it, and then he just swings it back and hits the lizard. And
that was so well shot. I actually watched that today. Really good, I watched that scene today. It was so good. Like, that's it. I gotta give one more.
Go on.
It's another animated one. What's that movie called? I got it on Blu-ray. What's it called? Big Hero 6. Did you see Big Hero 6?
Yeah.
Big Hero 6.
What was his cameo in that one again?
Basically, there was one of the characters. I think it was the slim, long-haired one who looks like a longer-haired Shaggy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
And he was like the rich kid. Yeah. And he was saying, "Oh, my dad would be so proud. Oh, my dad's away." And and at the end of the end credits, in true Marvel Disney fashion, at the end credits, you see this guy roll up, and he's like, "Dad," and it's Stan Lee.
Oh, see,
it was Stan Lee, and it's like, because I think he found his dad's secret hideout that his dad was a superhero as well.
Oh, right.
And then his dad comes in, and it's Stan Lee, and he's like, "We got a lot to talk about, son." And I'm like, "That was dope."
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, Stan Lee had some good cameos that weren't just Marvel movie cameos. He's king of cameos, man.
Yeah, he was the dad, right?
Yeah.
Oh, shizzle.
He was one of the kids' dad.
Nice. Oh man, I'm gonna miss him, man.
Yeah.
You know what? For me, For me personally, I hope that they did do the whole voice thing where they record his voice, and I don't know. I just feel that a Marvel movie is not a Marvel movie without Stan being in it.
No.
So I wouldn't mind them putting him in.
Yeah.
All the rest of them, like even if they digitally put him in, or I don't know.
They might find other ways to honor him. You never know. What we'll see. True. I don't know I think Captain Marvel's the next movie out.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, it's already been shot.
They did shoot that one already.
Yeah, but
I think they've shot a couple. Because I think when they were doing Guardians and Infinity War, they shot quite a few with him. Apparently, that's what I heard. So they shot quite a few shots with him, so they can work around that.
You know what? I always, even if I'm into the movie and I forget, but one of the things I loved about going to see Marvel movies that I was looking forward to that. I'm always like, I wonder where it's gonna be. And then you forget about it. And then when you find it, you're like, that was sick. It's gonna mean so much more to us fans when we get those next few cameos. It's gonna mean so much more to us.
Yeah.
I gotta say, yeah, one more time for you, Stan Lee, Excelsior.
Excelsior. All right, man.
Man, rest in peace, Stan Lee.
In peace.
All right, what's next?
So I'll quickly go through the pull list of what came out yesterday. I haven't had a chance to read anything yet.
Me neither.
But I seriously can't wait to read Uncanny X-Men issue 1.
Don't even, man. Don't even. I subscribe to that. Like, I'm getting that.
Yeah. I need to actually send my pull list to my comic shop. I've been meaning to do it, but yeah. So Uncanny X-Men is back with issue 1 by Ed Bryson, Mahmoud A. Assur, and Neil Francis Yeoh. I butcher names anyway, so Venom.
Yeah, let's see how they're said. Ed Bryson, Mahmoud A. Azra, and Neil Francis Yeoh. And I butchered it as well.
Yeah. So the Children of the Atom are back. New ongoing series kicking off with a 10-part weekly epic. Sweet. Every week we're gonna get some
nice.
The flagship X-Men series that started it all is back and better than ever, starting with a mysterious and tragic disappearance. The X-Men are drawn into what might be their final adventure. X-Fan favorite writers Ed Bryson, Extermination, Matthew Rosenberg, Phoenix Resurrection, and Kelly Thompson, Mr. and Mrs. X. I still need to finish reading that, actually. And All-Stars artist Mohammed Assur, X-Men Red, RB Silver, X-Men Blue. I really cannot pronounce that name. Yildiray Sinar, Weapon X. I haven't been reading that, actually. And Pierre Perez, Rogue and Gambit join forces to bring you X-Men Disassembled.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Definitely.
I really am, and I can't wait. Do you know one thing that I'm happy about Marvel acquiring Fox and us getting the Fantastic Four and X-Men back? I can't wait until they re-retcon Wanda and Pietro back to being Magneto's kids. I've been waiting for, I'm just gonna I'm celebrating that one. Do you know what I mean? Because that was just something.
So how what? So
it needs to be done.
They have a flashback of what happened in Age of Ultron, and he survives the destruct. No, was it Age of Ultron? No, it was another.
I don't even know.
Their parents died somewhere, didn't they?
I can't remember what storyline it was. I've got Age of Ultron. I don't remember it being in there, but
no, he said they were somewhere else, and a rocket hit the house, and it was a Stark rocket. Yeah.
No, not in the movie. I mean, in the comics.
In the comics.
Yeah, in the comics, because they're not his kids in the comics anymore. And I'm waiting for them to, because basically they did it in the comics because of what was going on in the live action stuff. And I'm like, I remember being so angry because Quicksilver is blatantly Magneto's son.
Yeah, exactly.
He was blatantly designed to be Magneto's son. And I'm just waiting for that to go back.
To
the status quo.
Sorry, but I thought you meant the movies.
No, I mean that's going to be great as well. That's just going to be interesting. Do you know what I mean?
It's going to be. I still wonder how they're going to do. Everybody's wondering how they're going to do it.
Yeah, but for now, I'm just content with them fixing it in the comic books because I never accepted that. I would always say that they were Magneto's kids. I ain't got time for nonsense.
All right. Number 2, Mr. Miracle, issue 12. This is the final issue.
Is it?
Yeah, Tom King. Yeah. This has been sweet, man. I've loved this all the way. This for me, I've never read a Mr. Miracle comic, and I haven't really been into Mr. Miracle before reading Mr. Miracle, and this has totally got me in. I'm going to be reading anything Mr. Miracle's in now. I'm already reading Tom King anyway. I'm reading all his books, so whether it's Tom King or it's not some other thing, but Mr. Miracle is a sick character. He's made him for me into a sick character.
Yeah.
So it'll be a miracle if you can get through this mind-bending conclusion with your sanity intact after his epic battle with just remembering the last book. After his epic battle with Darkseid, Scott-free sees life.
Darkseid, man, I've taught you this.
Darkseid.
It's like me saying Thanos.
I say it just to piss you off, man, don't you?
I bet you do as well.
I wish it was that. Darkseid. Scott-free sees life in a whole new way. He's the new High Father of New Genesis, and he's madly in love with his wife and child. But what if it's all a lie? Did Mr. Miracle really escape death way back in issue 1? No one really knows but Tom King and Mitch Gerards.
Do you know I pre-ordered the graphic novel volume 1 of that? So I don't know when. I'm probably supposed to get that in December, actually. Mate, so I'm looking forward to that.
Read it. As soon as you get it, read it, man.
Yeah, no doubt, man.
It is good. It is really good.
No doubt. Be reading that.
So number 3, Bitter Roots, issue 1. This one's from Image Comics.
Image.
This one sounds pretty good, actually. It sounds all right. In the 1920s, the Harlem Renaissance is in full swing, and only the Sangaré family can save New York and the world from the supernatural forces threatening to destroy humanity. But the one great family of monster hunters has been torn apart by tragedies and conflicting moral codes. The Sangaré family must heal the wounds of the past and move beyond their differences, or sit back and watch a force of unimaginable evil ravage the human race. This is David F. Walker and Sanford Green, the creative team of Power Man and Iron Fist. So you know of those guys.
Yep.
Along with indie veteran Chuck Brown, who did trench coats, cigarettes, and shotguns. Bring you 24 action-packed pages of monsters, mayhem, and family dysfunction in a brand new ongoing series. So it's a black family as well. So that's what sort of got me onto the. That's what sort of made me recognize it. And reading this, I'm like,
sounds a bit interesting then. All right.
Yeah. Number 4 is James Bond Origin issue 3, chapter 3, Rocket Sea. The epic account of James Bond's exploits during World War II continues by superstar Jeff Parker, who did Suicide Squad and the Fantastic Four, and Bob Q, the Lone Ranger. Aboard a Royal Navy submarine, Lieutenant James Bond and crew encounter deadly German warships and bombers. Can the British crew keep their nerve and evade, or will they sink into a watery grave?
Nice.
All right.
Don't know if I'll be getting a James Bond comic.
I half read the first issue,
which means you were in the comic book shop and just.
No. I've actually got it.
Okay.
Got it online, but I was traveling home and I just half read it because I was on the train.
Yeah. Okay.
So I do need to finish that, and so.
Fair enough. Excuse me, guys.
Number 5, Fantastic Four, issue 3. The Fantastic Four is more than a team, it's a family, and when the fate of the very multiverse is at stake, this means it's time for the entire family to have a reunion. Everything you've been waiting for is in this issue.
I cannot wait for this issue.
Guest starring Spider-Man, Wolverine, the Hulk, Ghost Rider, Medusa, Crystal, Luke Cage, and more.
I was gonna name them, but I didn't realize the names were on the list. But that alone, I cannot wait. It's even got the robot from the cartoon. What was his name?
Herbie.
Herbie's in it. Like if you look at issue 2 and it's got them standing there, I'm like, what's he doing? I can't wait for this issue, man. I cannot wait for this issue. So I
hope that's in your order, mate.
It's in my order. Yeah, definitely. I actually got my email the other day. It's been shipped. So
sweet. Nice.
Can't wait for that one.
So number 6, final one. Black Order, issue 105. From the Infinity War into their own limited series, they are the 5 Dreadlords, the Cold Obsidian, Thanos' most feared warriors and disciples, ruthless villains to a one. The Black Order has been dispatched by the Grandmaster to destabilize a Burgundian empire, and along the way they come to realize that as big and bad as they are, there's always someone bigger and better. The bombastic writing style of novelist Derek Landy, skullduggery pleasant, and the electrifying art of Philip Tan combined for an absolutely unhinged supervillain adventure.
Okay.
So yeah,
Cool.
I've always liked the Obsidian Order, or Cold Obsidian.
Yeah.
If you don't know, the Black Order, they are called actually the Cold Obsidian, but in the films, Black Dwarf, his name is has actually been changed to Cold Obsidian. So
I don't know why movies do that.
Say that again.
I don't know why movies do that.
I think because of his name, Black Dwarf. I don't know.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Where everything is so sensitive. So,
but we can still never mind. Yeah. I'm just not going into that. All right, cool. What's next?
So, comic book news.
What is going on these days? I'm out of it, man.
So we've got the artwork for Old Man Quill. So, yeah. So we had Old Man Wolverine. We've had Old Man Hawkeye. I've not read Old Man Hawkeye, but I've been hearing that that's been pretty good, really good.
Wait for the graphic novel, man.
Yeah. Have you been reading it?
No, I'm saying I'll wait for the graphic novel. Yeah. I'll just.
So yeah, now we've got Old Man Quill.
Peter Quill.
Peter Quill, yeah.
Okay.
The cover looks pretty dope actually as well. The cover's by Andrea Sorrentino.
Andrea Sorrentino is one of my favorite. Oh, that's who does Old Man Logan as well.
Yeah.
Oh, he or she, I'm still not sure, is sick.
Yeah, it does look good, man. It does look good. So on the cover, it shows a universe where Peter Quill in his old age is holding his quad blaster with his mask in the background. And in the background, the mask has got the red eyes on it.
Yeah.
It's got the red eyes, but in the eyes you can see a planet being destroyed. Like you just see all the fire coming out of the planet. That could be the Spartax Empire. And there's an Easter egg as well. The logo features the Ravagers icon from the Marvel Universe, from the MCU.
Okay.
So yeah, it looks pretty good.
I completely forgot that I got a Peter Quill figure. Marvel Legend.
Oh, really?
It's only because I was going to grab it. It's like, it's only just you and me on here. I can't come off and go grab it. But yeah, I completely forgot that I own that figure.
Yeah, I want the comic book versions of those.
Yeah, no, I remember you saying, but some of the movie ones, this is a tangent and a half. Some of the comic ones are pretty sick, though.
Yeah.
Not comic book. I prefer the comic book ones, but some of the movie ones are pretty sick. Like, who's a good example? Jessica Jones is a good one. Daredevil, Bullseye.
I only want those to get a Man Thing.
Yeah, I need one more, and I'll have Man Thing.
Yeah,
one more. I need Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones, I'll look out for you, man.
Appreciate it.
But yeah, anyway,
tangent.
Tangent.
That's what we do. We tangent. We go off on tangents.
So Andrea is a man.
Oh, okay, sweet.
So what he said was, we've gotten to see the saga of Logan and Hawkeye in the Wastelands, but there's literally a whole world, make that a whole galaxy left to explore. There is so much potential in more visits to this deliciously awful place, first dreamed up by Mark Miller and Steve McNiven a decade ago. Actually, this is what Sachs said, not Andrea Sorrentino. Sorry, Ethan Sachs. He was speaking to Newsarama as well.
Okay.
So he indicated a more seasoned and bitter Quill will be reuniting with the Guardians, not realizing what's happened to Earth. He said we'll find Peter in a dark place, so don't expect him to be out quipping one-liners. He's a lot more haunted than we're used to, at least at the beginning of his tale. This Star-Lord is a little bit reminiscent of the revenge-bent gunslinger that Steve Englehart first dreamed up in 1976.
Okay.
So we'll see Rocket Raccoon and Ashley, who's Hawkeye's estranged daughter, and Spider-Man's granddaughter will appear. Old Man Quill is a 12-issue maxi series set to premiere in February 2019 with Saxon scripts. The art will be done by Robert Gill, with covers provided by Andrea Sorrentino.
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Really? Why?
The comic in general. I'm just like, I don't know how many times I've seen in any medium where we see someone older and they're all bitter, and like Ben 10 did the same thing. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I think he was good though. Old Man Logan was good.
Well, that's the other thing, because Old Man Logan did it.
Yeah.
And that was really good. Because Old Man Logan did it, and he was like extra bitter than Logan usually was. It's like, I'm not sure if I want to see that again. If that makes sense. Yeah. I'm not knocking the comic. I'm just like, it might be good, but I'm just not sure if it's what I want.
I heard Old Man Quill was good. Old Man Hawkeye was good as well.
Okay, well,
I mean, it's been going the two out of 2.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I suppose, but it might be good. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying it's. I've seen this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there's something else that I've watched or read that has done this as well. I don't know why Ben 10 is the one that's coming to mind, where young Ben met future Ben, and he was like bitter and seen too much. It's like they've seen too much and they just turn bitter.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah. I'm sure Spider-Man did that. Did Spider-Man do that? Whatever. Anyway, what's next?
Okay. You're gonna love this one.
Probably.
Yeah. So Venom. It's earned
the movie. Oh my days! All right,
it's earned 111 million in China. It has taken over globally, totals more than Justice League.
That's not a hard feat.
No. So Venom is sitting at 673.5 million globally. Justice League earned 658. So yeah, we're definitely getting a
sequel. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it. Really, that's it for that. I know you don't want to go too much into that.
Just you people are just the problem.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I've said it. I'm not going to say it again. I am going to say it again. Stop. It just doesn't make any sense. I know a lot of you straight up don't read comic books. You've seen a cool movie, and all of a sudden you're like fans of the medium, which is great. You know, we could always use more fans in comic books, but like, don't start acting like you. Yeah, don't start acting like you know something, and then supporting the BS, and then because you support the BS, then we won't get. Spider-Man 3 was rubbish, yeah. We deserve a proper Spider-Man movie where he's kicking it with Venom, but we're not going to get that movie because you lot are acting a fool out there going to support dumb movies. Like, you know what, yeah?
I feel like you're telling me off, man.
I'm telling all of you off. All you millions that went to see that dumb movie. Like, I will see that movie, but I ain't paying for it.
All right. What I will be paying for, though, Netflix, because... apparently, Michelle Yeoh is in talks to star in a Star Trek Discovery spin-off.
This pleases me.
Yeah, it pleases me too. Michelle Yeoh pleases me also. She's a very great actress.
No, she's dope.
She's
so dope. Anything that I've seen her in, she's always been good. Like that James Bond movie, any kung fu movie that she's in.
Yeah.
Tip of my tongue.
In a few series as well, TV series, right?
She's done a lot. She's done a lot. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Right.
She was dope in that. There's like a lot I'm forgetting. I don't know why, but Michelle Yeoh was dope.
Yeah.
Oh, that movie with Vin Diesel. Babylon. Babylon? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I remember that film.
Yeah, that movie was dope,
it's,
man.
It's Babylon something, right?
Yeah.
Babylon AD.
Yeah, that's the
That was
one.
sick, actually.
That was a dope movie, man.
Yeah. I did like that. I might actually watch that again soon. that was pretty sick. And it was one that went under the radar. I think a lot of people didn't like it.
Yeah, that definitely went under the radar. But Vin Diesel was good in it, and definitely Michelle Yeoh was good in that movie.
Yeah.
So I'm glad. I would watch this Star Trek show if she gets it. I'll definitely watch it.
So yeah, spoilers if you haven't watched season 1 of Discovery, you should be watching that because
what were you doing?
Her character is from the Mirror Universe, and she's an evil version of her main character, obviously. And
I want to call her evil. She's complex.
Yeah. Okay. Complex.
Yeah. I want to say she's evil. She's also like Peter Quill. She's seen some things.
So yeah, her character is now in the main universe, and so yeah, I'll be interested to see her. Basically, she was like I said, she's a complex character. So her being in Starfleet, I would like to see. In fact, you know what? I thought that they would make her the captain.
Yeah, the end of season 1.
Yeah,
I thought they would do that.
That would have been good to do, and then I would have liked to see Discovery with her being the captain. Yeah,
it would be interesting. It would be such a crazy dynamic considering the original her. That's her team.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm getting used to. That would have been sick to do.
So, well. Yeah, maybe this wasn't such a good news then.
Because we're not gonna get. We don't know when this show's coming, and we don't know what's gonna happen in season 2. So.
Well, sorry. I'm just looking in the chat. I'm sorry to say, my cousin is saying that Crouching Tiger is trash. What are you talking about? Crouching Tiger wasn't trash, man.
I'm sorry to say, I have to agree with your cousin.
What? You serious?
I didn't like the movie. I liked Michelle Yeoh in the movie. I liked the cinematography, and I liked the fighting. But when I was watching it, this dumb girl, basically gets mad.
Talking to my cat now, man. Sorry.
Look, this girl, is told don't touch the sword, and what does she do? She runs off with the sword, and then she thinks she's straight G with that sword. So where I liked it is where Michelle Yeoh had to come and spank her for touching the sword. But nah,
it was a good damn film.
I liked elements of that movie, but it's not one. If I was to watch it, it would be for Michelle Yeoh, and it was Chow Yun Fat, right?
Yeah.
I would watch it for those two, but the girl annoyed me. Where did she annoy me?
Anyway, all right, fair enough. The last bit of news but it's got quite a bit in there. Sorry, let me just say one thing about the Star Trek Discovery. That should be back on Thursday, January the 17th on CBS All Access, which obviously we don't have here in the UK, but we do get it on Netflix. We used to get it on the same day. I think it was the same.
I swear it was the same within 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah, it was the same day. I can't remember if it was on a Thursday though. I'm sure it was.
I can't remember. For some reason, I thought that was a Netflix show. I didn't know it was on CBS in America.
No, they sell the rights to Netflix so they can show over here, just like what they're doing with Titans, which is so crap because they still don't have it yet. It's not on Netflix, and Titans is sick.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about Titans. Let's not go on that tangent.
All right, cool. All right, so the last bit of news is Disney's streaming service. They've got a name, and it's called Disney Plus.
Oh,
all right. So yeah, Disney
Plus. I have to say, both you, DC, and Marvel with the names of your streams. It was like, what was it? DC Universe. Oh, all right.
I think that's okay.
It works. That one works.
It works.
It's less lazier than Marvel Plus.
Disney Plus.
They could have called it The Wonderful World of Disney, and that would have sounded more exciting. World of Disney. World of Disney. There you go.
Yeah, that would have been good actually.
World of Disney would have been much better.
But
lazy.
I think Hulu has Hulu Plus or something like that, right? I'm not too sure.
I don't do. Isn't that Jay-Z's one? No, that's what's this one called? Nah, he's not Hulu. Never mind. I forgot what his one's called.
Yeah, I'm not too
Never
sure.
mind.
I don't. It's Hulu Plus.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Disney Plus will have the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's going to have the Star Wars franchise, Pixar Studios, National Geographic, which I didn't actually realize was Disney as well. The Muppets and their own, the Muppets and all the obviously Marvel Disney library, which is pretty big.
Yeah, it's huge.
And obviously, as we all know, they've just brought out Fox. So they're going to have loads of Fox films on there too. So it'll be interesting. It will be very interesting.
Do you think you'll get it?
We better get it if they're
No. I mean, do you think you'll get it? If we get it, do you think you'll get it?
Yeah, I think I would. The reason why I would, because it would have all the Marvel stuff on there, which I want. It would have all the Star Wars stuff on there, which I've seen. But I'm going to go into a bit of news about this bit as well, because there's a bit more going on. But it's going to have the Mandalorians series on there.
Okay.
Well, which I'm very interested to see. Well, speaking of which as well, Bob Iger had a webcast interview, and basically he said that the streaming service will be, all the content from other services will be pulled, all the Disney shows from other services will be pulled when it's launched, and it will be brought over. There's a number of television series scheduled to premiere with the service. That includes a Star Wars prequel about Rogue One character Cassian Andor. Which
one was that again?
That was the guy from Rogue One, the rebel kind of guy.
Yeah.
You did watch it, right?
Yeah, no, I saw Rogue One. Rogue One, I enjoyed it. It's just that I knew how it was going to end.
Well, yeah, but I think that what was so special about it, you knew what it was how it was going to end, but you didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't foresee the conclusion of the characters, man.
Nah, I feel like I knew what was going to happen to every character. They just weren't popping up again. Excuse me, I'm not trying to sound bitter about Rogue One. I liked Rogue One.
I thought that was surprising, man. I was more surprised when that happened, man.
No, I knew from the trailer.
From the trailer? They didn't show any trailer.
I didn't say it. I'm just saying. I watched the trailer and I said to myself, spoilers, by the way, they're all going to die. Then I watched the movie and I'm watching it. I'm like, I knew it.
Yeah, sorry about if you haven't watched.
I said spoilers.
Yeah. So yeah, they're having another series with that, and obviously they got the Mandalorian series.
Okay.
That's coming out. They just cast someone new from, not someone new, but they cast someone in Mandalorian. There's two people actually, and all you 80s kids will love this, man. Let me get the first guy, because the first guy he was in Game of Thrones. He was the guy that was the prince. That I really don't want to say, because Game of Thrones is too sick, and everyone needs to watch that.
The prince in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, he was the prince, and Prince Oberyn. The actor's name is Pedro Pascal.
What was Prince Oberyn?
He was the one from
the one that had
the sister.
Yeah, the one that had the daughter from who is now in Iron Fist. Man. He had the sister, and then there were like three daughters. They almost looked like.
Oh yeah.
So that guy.
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, all right, cool. Yeah. Oh, that's dope.
So yeah, he's gonna be the main character actually.
Okay, cool.
What else has he been? If you haven't seen Game of Thrones.
If you haven't seen Game of Thrones, then what are you doing with your life besides living it?
He was in Wonder Woman. Equalizer 2, Kingsman.
Oh my days.
Narcos, he was in. That's where I recognize him from, actually. He was in Narcos.
He was in Wonder Woman. Wait, Wonder Woman, was he the guy? Oh my days.
He was one of the. He was a French guy, I think.
Yeah, yeah. One of her Howling Commandos.
Yeah. Yeah. Nikita, he was in Homeland. Yeah, he's been in quite a few things. So he's actually in the Mandalorian series, which is good. Also, there's rumors of I'm trying to remember. What was that slogan, man? Wait a minute. Sorry, I know I'm taking my time, but this is a once in a lifetime thing. What's it? Faster, fastest. Do you remember that? Do you remember that song?
It rings a bell. Where is that from?
Action Jackson.
Oh my days.
Way back, yeah.
Oh, that's taking it back.
So
is that like the 70s or something? When was Action Jackson?
80s,
yeah, sorry. Man.
So
Action Jackson. Man.
Carl Weathers is supposed to be in this Mandalorian, apparently. There's rumors of him being in it. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yeah, he's pretty old now, getting on a bit, but I've loved him since old school, man. Since Action Jackson. Obviously, he was in Creed and Predator. But yeah, apparently he's in the Mandalorian. So again, this is another reason why I would pay for this subscription.
Fair enough. I had a dream, that so knowing when you wake up from these things, that Iron Fist and Luke Cage was cancelled, and they made this big announcement. They were just going to take all the Netflix shows and put them on the Disney streaming service, and we'll see them there.
Yeah, I wish, but I wish they did Power Man and Iron Fist.
Yeah.
They got rid of it and put them all on that.
Yeah. Oh well.
So yeah. Also, Loki. Loki's series has been confirmed as well.
Okay,
so
cool.
That's definitely happening. Tom Hiddleston also tweeted, Loki, more stories to tell, more mischief to make, more to come.
Sweet.
So that's definitely confirmed.
They'll bring Hela back. Making deals with Hela. We'll find out that, or I don't know, just more Loki-centric stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was rumors of Scarlet Witch that hasn't been confirmed yet, but
yeah.
For me, I was talking to a couple of friends because one of them sent me a link to. It wasn't a trailer. It was just like a teaser trailer for Game of Thrones, the last season. And he hasn't actually watched it yet, or his brother. And I'm just saying, like, Game of Thrones is so epic. One particular reason is because the amount of money that they put in as well to make it such an epic series. Yeah,
that show is not cheaply made.
It's not cheaply made, and it's got great actors in there as well, and new actors that you've never heard, previously never heard of before. But yeah, it's just so epic, and the money I think that they're putting into these anthologies, these Marvel anthologies, I've got hope that these two are kind of like the sweeteners to the X-Men coming in and being something as epic as Game of Thrones and having the money spent. So for me, that's what I'm hoping these indicate, like this Loki and Scarlet Witch series, and even the Star Wars anthology.
Do you know, my fear with these shows is that, because the whole thing with Netflix, or just not Netflix, but we had like Daredevil, and then we had like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and some of those other ones, and they claim to be set, like I think Runaways, they will claim to be set in the MCU, but there was no real.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The Loki and Scarlet Witch, these ones are done by the Marvel Studios, not by Marvel TV. Okay,
I'm just in fear that the once they're on the kind of small screen, there'll be no mention of them in the big screen. We just won't see them there anymore.
No, they're different. They're different creators. Like this one will be from like Kevin Feige would be overseeing it.
Okay.
But it's that faction of the company rather than the TV faction.
And the TV people. All right.
Yeah, so that's the difference with it. And obviously, I think because they're on different networks as well. So you know, with it now being on the streaming channel, it's not confirmed, but obviously, if they've got 20th Century Fox, they're not going to buy a whole company's library and not put it on their streaming service.
Yeah, of
course. I find that really stupid. So yes, I think Disney will have over 18 films on their service. And
it'd be stupid not to. Like you can't be kid friendly for a thing. It just doesn't work.
It won't work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping that. I really hope that X-Men is a TV series. I
know you've been saying. I honestly do believe, or think. Do I believe it? Or I think it will be a movie. I think they'll do it. I think it'll be smarter to do it as a TV show because they've tried the movie, the thing. They've tried it. The reason I want it to be a movie is because I want to see the characters with with Cap or whoever's left in the MCU movies.
Yeah.
That's why I want it to be just to know. Because like I said, I've got that fear that if it's on TV, then we won't get it. I won't get to see them with who I want to see them with. But like you said, it's Kevin Feige overseeing this stuff. So fingers crossed, it will be. I don't know. Just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I really do hope it is TV. I just feel that you can
tell more. Yeah,
do more stories. You can have different arcs as well for different seasons. So season 1 can be.
Could you imagine the Phoenix Saga as a TV show?
Oh man,
that'd be sick.
Like we had that in the cartoon. But
live action, live action.
I remember coming back from where was I? School or work or college or whatnot, and coming back and being like, what's gonna? Because the Phoenix is coming.
Yeah,
she's still. She went away in the first episode or something, I think.
Yeah. And
then she came back, and then during the whole season, it was all about her and different stories with her. And
there'll be times where she would it would just come up for not even like the full thing.
Yeah.
She would just boom, she's the Phoenix, and then back to Jean Grey. You wouldn't see her for the rest of the episode. You wouldn't see the Phoenix for the rest of the episode.
And you can even plant seeds as well, like maybe through season 1. You kind of have every now and again it will flashback to like what Arrow does actually.
Yeah, Arrow does that really well.
To like Egyptian times and
like
the first mutants and introduce Apocalypse, and then like it was slowly introduced and what's her name? The first mutant, Selene, I think it was. Selene, she's actually the first mutant for Apocalypse.
Oh, is it? Okay, that one eluded me.
You kind of introduce them, and then maybe season 2 or 3, you'll have Cable. Like you'll introduce Cable.
Yeah, imagine you've watched season 2, and at the end of season 2, there's a Cable shows up. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, and he's like, X-Men, I need your help. And people who's not initiated will probably think, "Hey, what's going on? This looks season 3 looks like it's going to be interesting." But as a fan, you're like, "Oh my days, Cable!" Do you know what I mean?
I liked. Sorry, I'm just talking to the chat because I think I said Carl Weathers was in Creed, but I meant he was Apollo Creed in
Apollo Creed. Yeah, I knew you meant.
Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry. So yeah, I like what's his name now? Thanos, Cable.
Josh Brolin.
I like Josh Brolin.
Brand.
But yeah, he's not. I think there's a better Cable out there, man.
Well, and this may shock you. It's not my fault, but I haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet, so I can't. It's not my fault. I tried.
It's not my fault. Who says that?
I don't know.
Han Solo. It's not my fault.
Yeah. I remember I even planned to take Kai, and we went. Do you remember when I texted you, and I was like, yeah.
You went to see some other film.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we saw. But I tried. Look, I went online. I mean, it was late. I couldn't go see it earlier, obviously, when it was in cinema. Plus we went Barbados.
Yeah.
So then we got back, and I said I'll take Kai Cinema. And I checked the site. It was it's supposed to be the last showing of Deadpool 2. We went, said to the guy Deadpool 2, and the guy said, it's not on the list. And then it wasn't on the system, but on the list it was supposed to be showing.
Yeah.
It's just messed up. So I'm waiting for that to come on. I don't know, maybe I'll buy it, or I don't know.
Yeah, you could. Is it on Netflix? I don't know if it's on Netflix yet.
Deadpool 2 ain't on Netflix. No way. Not before Sky gets it.
Nah.
I wish.
So yeah, that's it. I think that's it for this episode of Two Geeks in a Pod.
Two Geeks in a Pod 2.5 or 2.2?
Volume 2.2.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, we hope you enjoyed.
Yeah. And
to all the Stan Lee fans out there, we say to you one last time and forever, Excelsior.
So yeah,
go on.
So yeah, I mean, if you're listening to us now, you know where to find us. If not, we're on YouTube live Wednesdays normally. It's Thursday today, but you know we had to get this Stan Lee tribute out.
We couldn't just let that sleep.
We couldn't let that sleep. No way, man. No way. Sorry about our issues yesterday, but yeah, hopefully our connection is better now.
Yeah,
it was better today actually.
It was a lot better today actually. So
yeah, if you don't catch us live, you can always catch us on YouTube anyway. Just search for us. All our episodes are there, live, not live, but still uncut. You can get us on your podcast, wherever you listen to your podcast, iTunes, Castbox, Google Play, wherever you find your podcast, you can find us on there as well. Uncut also. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and SoundCloud as well. So, man, there's no excuse where you can't listen to us, man.
Get in where you fit in.
Exactly.
Read comic books, watch comic book movies, TV shows, and don't forget to bring a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's it. That's us. Hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, as the late great Stan the Man Lee says, got to do it one more time.
Excelsior! Peace out, everybody.